in today's video I'm going to share with you best disease control in the poultry farm, like how to control diseases on your poultry farm. This is very interesting and very educative that if you're planning to be a poultry farmer and maybe you are buying birds very soon, or you have birds and maybe you are brooding, and this is a very good video because most of us have seen these birds fall sick and it is not a good experience that I want fellow farmers to go through. So best things that can help you to control diseases on the farm are here today. I'm going to share about them today, so stick around, watch the video. If you're watching me for the very first time, my name is Asperia. Let's get right into the very first thing you need to do to control diseases from spreading in the poultry farm. If you notice there's one bird that is sick, the first thing you need to do, isolate it from the flock. Like remove it, don't leave it in the flock. Most of these poultry diseases are transmitted from one bird to another because they are in the same house, especially for deep litter system. The birds poop here and this one is just eating the poop of the other bird. When they are here, like, they share a lot of things. So whenever something is sick, like whenever a bird is sick, the best thing to do is to take it outside and treat it from there, and then you save the rest of the flock. When it dies from outside, not inside. So when you observe and you see that something wrong with this particular bird, get it out, isolate it, treat it, and then bring it back when it's fine. And then number 2, proper disposal of birds that are dead. Now when the birds die on the poultry farm, you need to bury them. Like, you need to take them very far away from the farm, because if you bring it here, there are so many other things that can bring them back. If you have dogs at home, you can give them the bones, and when they eat, they come and play around the poultry house. That disease can catch these other birds, and if other wild birds can be able to eat that, in any way they come to the farm, they can still bring that disease. So proper disposal of dead bodies of birds is very key in preventing diseases on the poultry farm. The moment you discover that your bird has died with certain disease, go take it very far and bury it, throw it very far, and then you will be able to control diseases on your farm. And then another thing, do not allow visitors into your poultry house, guys. There are so many friends that come around and they want to enter the poultry house, they want to carry birds, they want to lift birds. That is not allowed in a poultry farming. The moment you allow people just because you don't know where this person is coming from, you don't know what they have eaten, you don't know what they have touched, probably they have flu, they have cough, maybe they have touched a sick bird or a sick pig or a sick other animal, and the moment they carry these birds, they can easily introduce diseases on the farm. Don't allow people just come inside your poultry house. It is prohibited, and that way you control diseases. Have a few people that are caring for these birds, and those few people should only be allowed to enter the poultry house. And if it is a must that your visitors should see, let them get disinfected and let them stand very far from the birds. Don't allow them inside the poultry house. And another thing you need to look at, good ventilation of the poultry house. Now recently I visited a farm, and this person had started a poultry farm, and she started with putting birds inside the house. Like, you have a house that is abandoned and no one is living in there, you try to create some small aeration and then you bring the birds. And now it is a dry season and the birds are struggling, they are dying, they are sick, and the production is really not nice. So good ventilation is very important. It is very important because we have a very good poultry house here with very good ventilation, but still we feel the birds are struggling with heat and they have heat stress, as you can see, but still we are trying to manage them. So have proper ventilation to avoid poultry diseases. The moment that ammonia stays in here, they consume it and it makes them get sick. They kind of suffocate. So be sure to ventilate, or look for ways of bringing these birds. So my birds are in a in a hot season. So sometimes I open the house and let them out so that they can get aeration. And then the next thing you need to do, disinfect the tools yourself that you use inside the poultry. If you are using like this garden fork to turn the litter, let it be disinfected yourself before you enter. Disinfect your feet. I shared a video of biosecurity measures. I'm going to put it here for you. Go and check it out. Make sure you disinfect yourself before entering the poultry house. Disinfect your hands before carrying these birds, because you don't know what you have eaten, what it contains. That will prevent diseases. Prevention is better than cure. If there's any way you can prevent disease on the poultry farm, that will be the best way. Diseases come, but some of them do not leave the birds the same. So preventing is better. Vaccinating your birds. Vaccinations are very important. They are very key, even in human beings. That's why we vaccinate children, so that at least when a disease comes, it comes without all that big strength. So vaccinations are very important. Don't skip vaccination. Give vaccinations according to the guidelines, what you're supposed to vaccinate your birds at the very first day up to every stage. Make sure you vaccinate your birds. Now, vaccination does not stop diseases from coming, but at least when they come, it helps this bird to have that strong immunity to fight. And also, you can incorporate using herbs in your farm. Some of the herbs that are good in the farm, I've shared some of them here on my channel. I use charcoal, I use aloe vera, I give my birds greens like banana leaves, weeds. So these help them to have that kind of local feeling. They have boosted immunity, that when a disease comes, they are able to fight, they are able to survive. And then lastly, avoid buying old things. Like maybe your friend had a poultry farm and it is no longer going to work, and she's selling drinkers or cages, and then at a very cheaper price. Maybe their birds died of Newcastle, Mimboro, and then you just bring it and put it in your farm and you kill the entire farm. Be very careful. The moment you get those used things, make sure you disinfect them thoroughly, and to avoid your birds from just dying. A lot of things can be added here to prevent diseases. So many things that you can do. You just have to create that kind of a routine as a poultry farmer that is going to work. What works on my farm may not work in your farm, but make sure by all means you prevent diseases from coming into your poultry farm. In that way, you will have very good production and you will have profits in your farm. Thank you so much for watching. I believe you found it very helpful. Kindly hit that subscribe button. If you haven't yet subscribed, join our membership, guys. Share our videos, like them, and I love you.